Good morning, y'all. This is Pastor Raymond here again. just very short, just a very short video here. I I've already put out 3 different videos on this Haitian deportation. I just been hearing so much on the news medias, pro and con, and I've been listening to some from the American Haitian community as well. Some of it seems like they're sort of spot on, and others they just sort of, I think, saying things out of anger and hostility. And then there are some saying a lot of things I think totally out of ignorance, because they really don't understand the situation in Haiti as it is. I just, I wish somebody that's been in Haiti a long, long time, that's worked in Haiti, that knows the language and the culture. And there are others besides myself. But I just wish there was some way we could have an audience with our president, Donald Trump, or at least somebody in authority in his cabinet or administration. It may seem like partiality, perhaps. We served many years as a missionary there. We still have a ministry there. We have churches. We've been involved much over the many years in humanitarian aid of all kind, help projects, storm relief after the earthquake and hurricanes. And we've spent a lot of time, much time. We converse with Haiti just about nearly on a daily basis, at least weekly, sometimes daily. It depends on projects and things going on. We made mention in previous videos. We lived in the mountains of Haiti, very primitive back in the day. We run orphanages, children's homes. Traveled all over those mountains on donkeys and mules and walking, preaching the gospel, helping out with medical clinics, doing medical clinic. We've served as administrator over medical clinic. We've just done everything and anything that we were able to engage in to help the quality of life and help the situation in Haiti. Then we certainly were involved as much as we could be. And now we pastor a little church here just north of Old Town, Florida. But again, we have very capable national pastors and leaders there that oversee the work in Haiti. And we of course, raise support. We send in monies every single week to help with the feeding programs, the Manger C'est la Vie feeding programs that we have going on there. And but I wish somehow there could be some fairness in this situation. And well, I guess one of the biggest things is I talk to our national leaders there in Haiti, and I know there are some safe haven in Haiti. There are some places that are safe. Cape Haitian, Ocap in the north, Okai in the south, the little island of Ile La Vache, where we've sailed in and out of for many years. I understand that they are a relatively pretty safe place to be. I know there are some missionaries going in and out, some that are residing there as well in those areas. But I am also aware all around the Port-au-Prince area, Miriguan south of Port-au-Prince, Mibale north of Port-au-Prince, that whole area through there is pretty much run by gangs. And I know they're rootless. I won't go into all that detail. You've heard some of our videos and that we put out in the past with some of the things that's as appertains to the directors and pastors in our ministry there, or the Lord's ministry, I should say, that we're responsible for, that we've been entrusted with. So it's just a bad situation. We feel we really feel for this situation, but I feel like that there's just been some bad intel, and I do understand it was under the Biden / Obama administration that allowed all the Haitians to come in. I don't know of anything under God's heaven I agree with that bunch on, other than the fact that we were happy and glad that some of the Haitians were allowed to come in, because they're very hard workers, and they're just good people. That's all. And again, I won't elaborate on this, but I understand they have criminals and a bad element in Haitian Creole culture, just like others do. In church last night, I told them that. I said, what if we went to Chicago or the bad part of Miami or New York, and around the criminal element there, and then all of a sudden all the Americans are just like those criminals are? No, that's not a very fair assessment at all. So I'll just leave it at that. But the biggest thing that is that the ones that are here, for the most part, the ones I talk to, they're working very hard. They're sending monies back in to help their families. And because in Haiti right now, there's hardly any tourism. That was one of the biggest revenue with tourism. We run a dive operation working with the French at Loire and La Vache back in the day, and we had a lot of tourism going on. But now with all the atrocities and the crime and the kidnappings and all that's taken place in Haiti, that's just not been that way for a long time. Matter of fact, on Ile La Vache, Port Morgan is totally closed down. It's in ruins. Abaca Bay Resort, I understand they've done a lot of damage there. It's beginning to end up in ruins as well. And I remember when the helicopter pads there, and the helicopters would land from Port-au-Prince. Matter of fact, we had an audience there with the president of Haiti at one time before he was assassinated. And the prime minister, the leaders of Haiti, they would fly in and out of there. Matter of fact, one of the co-owners there at Abaca Bay was actually a head of security at one time. And so we could go on and on with all this. And they were all also frequent visitors of Port Morgan. They would fly in there as well. We were there. We eyewitnessed all that. So there you go. We actually worked for the government of Haiti for a short time at one time over the salvage in the southern waters. In other words, treasure hunters don't like the word treasure hunters, but that's what they are. They're sauveurs. And nevertheless, we were involved in that and as overseer, because we were running a marina and a dive shop there, and we're an instructor evaluator with MDEA, and anyway, enough of all that, but that's how we help support our ministry there. And so we were eyewitness to all that, but it's no more. It's no more. A lot of the Haitians worked at these resorts as well. It's no more. So they're survivalists. Haitians are survivalists, and they have to. Hardworking survivalists. All right, I've said enough. I wish there was some way we could actually have a face-to-face sit down with somebody in authority in this administration. At least share our little 2 cents worth, so to speak. And we just have heartfelt feelings about this situation. It's sad. One of my biggest arguments is, too, you can't compare the Haitians with the Muslim community that has come into our country. You know, I've said this in past videos, and I'll say it again. The Haitians pretty much are evangelicals. They love the Lord. They believe in God. They worship the God of the Bible. The Muslims, on the other hand, they worship Allah. You know, the Bible says that early on it said that the descendants of Ishmael would be a wild people. Boy, that's a fact of the matter. But nevertheless, the Haitians, or the Muslims, I'm sorry. They're here, they hate Americans, they hate Christians, they hate Jews. They're here to conquer, not assimilate to Western culture and our way of life here in the United States of America. They're here to conquer and to implement Sharia law and all the pagan things that they do. Anyway, I've said enough of all that. So that the Haitians and the Muslims, or those that worship Allah and Islam, they certainly are not in the same boat. I can assure you that. All right, I've said enough. This is Pastor Raymond Bideau. God bless you. We pray that y'all have passed a good day wherever you are. And again, it would be a wonderful thing if somehow myself, or not just anybody, a lot of American missionaries go there, Canadian missionaries, what have you. They go there and they never obtain a fluency of the language. They don't really study culture. I'm sorry, but a lot of the missionaries that go there, they go there, it seems like, with the intent of Americanizing them instead of trying to get them right with the Lord and doing missionary work as we're supposed to be doing. And I can promise you that's never been the case with this ministry. We've always tried to study and be studious and learn their culture and language. And I can tell you, we lived among the Haitians all the years we were there. We were never around the Blancs or the Americans or Canadian community. We were always total immersion. My children grew up with the children in the orphanages and the children's home. They got the place. They were more Haitian than American. And I'll never forget, my wife told me, we were homeschooling, of course. We were in the mountains of Haiti, no electricity, no running water. We were living very primitive for all those years. And I'll never forget, my wife told me, so we got to get these children back to the States for a little while. And their paces, they were having to write, in other words, they have a picture of a house, and underneath it, the little, like they do in kindergarten and the early grades, they have to write in big capital letters, house, O-H-O-U. They have to write all that down. And it had a nail, and my youngest one, she wrote, instead of writing a nail, she wrote down it was a clou. Well, that's what nails are called in Haitian, French Creole, and in French, they're called a clou, you see. So anyhow, so we did come back and forth some, and so that they wouldn't lose their American identity too much, but they were very, very integrated into the Haitian community, I could tell you. Very fluent in the language and understanding the culture, and I feel like the Lord helped my wife and I all those many years to learn the culture as well. We read every book in English and French both, and studied the people and worked with them hand in hand. I'm telling you, the Haitian helped us. I could just write a book on this. I don't know what to say. We love them. It's certainly our adopted folks. And we love America. Don't misunderstand. And tell folks we're a patriot above being a Republican. I can tell you, or a Democrat, or whatever the case might be, any political entity. We try to say, whose side are you on? Well, we try to be on God's side. What's morally right, that's what we try to be, regardless of the political affiliation, but we try to be on the Lord's side in all that we do by the help and grace of the Lord. And that's one thing I do appreciate about our president, Mr. Donald Trump, is he has made a lot of decisions and done things that's been morally correct, and it's been a help and a blessing to the Christian community. It does concern me. Some things, some of these advisors he has, does concern me greatly. But anyhow, nevertheless, we appreciate much and many. And I can't imagine, he's got a full plate. I'm sure he's very overwhelmed, all the affairs in the Middle East and the world, in Venezuela right now, and all that's been going on. And we need to pray for, we're supposed to pray for our leaders. Pray for those in authority. But I would welcome an audience with somebody in authority on this situation with Haitian deportation. This is Raymond Bideau. Been working in Haiti, ministering in Haiti, lived there many, many years, and we still are, and that's all I can say about it. God bless you, each and every one of you. Until next time, it's Pastor Raymond Bideau.